Finale. Last track now. God's body.
Above the rail.
You are God's body. This is God's body. These are God's steps. I am God's rep. This is God's breath. This is God's body. These are God's steps. I am God's rep. This is God's breath. This is God's body. These are God's steps. I am God's rep. This is God's breath. This is God's body. These are God's steps. I am God's rep. These are God's breath. I am God made. Crafted like no other. The way the words come together, I build a rap for my brothers, my mother. She used to tell me that God will be back, and the facts still stand there.
Can you
will
help
see
me,
that
man?
I say it's hell on earth, but this feel like heaven. Heaven in the booth, nigga, 767. Ain't no telling, ain't no selling. I just keep on going. Never get comfortable. I just keep on going. God has a plan. You just gotta understand. Sometimes we take the long route, not listening and underplan. I'm gonna go on command whenever God calls. I am God body, God breath. Calling y'all as I fall to my knees, pray for a better day. Right now it's not for me, just some prayers sent to stray. God bless me, and I see where I could be. Be thankful for the air you breathe, able to see, free to be. He or she together, we are we. I'm praying for my enemies, praying for peace. Free to be, he or she together, we are we. I be praying for my enemies, praying for the peace, for the peace. I am God's rep. I am God's body. This is God's rep. I am God's body. These are God's steps. I am God's rep. This is God's breath. God's breath. God's breath. God's breath. God's breath.
Yes, 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 yes.
I am God's rep. God's rep. God's rep. God's rep.
Yes, 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 yes.
These are God's steps. God's steps. God's steps.
This is
God body. This is God body. This is God's 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 body. These are God's steps. I am God's reps. These are God's breaths. These are God's body. These are God's steps. I am God's rep. This is God's breath. God's breath. God's breath. God's breath. God's breath. God's breath.
Good thing about it,
This is God's breath. God's breath. God's breath. God's breath.
you can count on him.
This. I am God's rep. God's rep. God's rep. God's rep.
And you could count on him. God's the ref. God's the ref. God's the ref. Game over, man. That was God's breath. God's breath.